All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Unit 2 practice test review video. In this video, we are going to go over every answer to every single problem. You'll get explanations so that you know how to succeed on our Unit 2 test. I'm going to show you every answer to every problem on here in just a second, but before I do that, a little note about how to use this video effectively to help you be ready for the Unit 2 test. Feel free to fast forward in this video to look and see an explanation of whichever problems you need to hear about. You can also rewind and skip around. Do you need to watch this entire video from start to finish? No, not unless you missed every single problem on this practice test. So feel free to skip my explanations on the problems that you already feel really comfortable with and just focus in, fast forward, and move around this video to find the explanations for the problems that you need help with. All right, so I'm going to start with showing you the answer key. So if you would like to, you can go ahead and pause this video right now and check the first 6 answers. And then unpause the video and you can check your answers for numbers 7, 8, and 9. There they are. You'll notice that number 7 is worth a point for this part and a point for this part. Number 8 is worth a point for this part and a point for that part. So 2 points for number 7, 2 points for number 8, 2 points for number 9, 1 for each part here. And that is the front. That's the front of the test. All right, the back side of the test looks like this. On number 10, you need a 5 in this blank, and you need any number but 9 in that blank to get number 10 correct. And then here are the rest of the answers. Again, you can pause this video for a second, compare your answers to these answers, and see how you did. Okay, now that you have had a chance to see what the answers are and give yourself a percent score out of 19 and all that kind of good stuff, we're going to spend the rest of this video just going problem by problem by problem and solving some equations, getting some answers. Okay, so here we go. Number 1, I need to figure out what A equals, so I've got to get rid of the 42. How do I get rid of a plus 42? A minus 42. If I take away 42 from the left side to get my A by itself, I've got to take away 42 from the right side, and that means I've got to figure out what 33 minus 42 is. Feel free to use a calculator on this if you would like to, but the answer that you should get on that is negative 9. Negative 9. So for number 1, A equals negative 9. How can we be sure that negative 9 is the correct answer? If you put a negative 9 for A and then add 42, it does come out to 33. And as you're doing these problems for this test, make sure that you're checking your answers every single time, since this is a test and you wanted to really do well. Okay, number 2, I'm guessing that several of you are going to want to listen to this explanation because I know fractions can be a little bit tricky. Sometimes with fractions, you can turn the fraction into a decimal and just do the problem that way. I don't think that's a good idea on this problem because 5 divided by 6 gives you a really messy, icky decimal that's not going to be very easy to work with. So you can think of solving this equation by doing the opposite of timesing b times 5/6, which is dividing by 5/6. And we can think of it as dividing 15 divided by 5/6, and we're going to get b and figure out what that equals. If you remember how to do 15 divided by 5/6, you'll get your answer, no problemo. The other way we can do this is dividing by 5/6 is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal, which is 6/5. And if I multiply the left side by 6/5, I can multiply the right side by 6/5. And that's how I'm going to get my answer to this problem. How does that help? Because the 6 and the 6 cancel, the 5 and the 5 cancel. I've gotten my b by itself. Now I just need to figure out what's 6 over 5 times 15. So 6 over 5 times 15, which is 15 over 1. You're going to do top times top. 6 times 15 is 90. 5 times 1 on the bottom is 5. And 90 divided by 5 gives us our answer. Our answer on this one is 18. So B equals 18 is our answer. You also could have done it this way. That's a 3 and a 1. 6 times 3 is 18, right? And that's how we got that one. Okay, that's number 1 and number 2. Here's number 3. It's a two-step problem. I've got to get rid of the 10. I've got to get rid of the 1. Which one do I get rid of first? I'm going to get rid of the one that's not attached to the variable. Then we'll worry about the 10 later. So that will scratch. I'll have 10c equals -100. -100 on that one. And then what's my next step? Divide by 10, divide by 10, and I'll get c equals negative divided by positive is a negative. 100 divided by 10 is 10. C equals -10. All right, number 4. Number 4 is also a two-step problem. I've got to get that D by itself. I've got to get the 6 gone. I got to get the 8 gone. Which one am I going to do first? The one that's not attached to the variable. How do I get rid of a -8? +8. If I +8 on the left, I've got a +8 on the right. Here's my equal sign. Here's what I have left. -6D equals -12. -6D equals -12. And then I'm just going to divide by -6, divide by -6, because I don't care what -6 ducks equal. I want to know what a duck equals, right? So this gives me D equals negative divided by negative is positive, so my answer is +2 for number 5. All right, number 5, you got some decimals. So a calculator might be helpful on this problem. A calculator might be helpful on a lot of these problems, so I strongly suggest you have a calculator. It's 2 steps again. I'll worry about the 0.25 later. I'm going to get rid of the thing that's not attached to the variable first. Okay, now I'm closer to getting f by itself. I still have 0.25f, but that's okay. I'll get rid of that later, and I have to figure out this part. So again, calculator might help. If you do this correctly, you should get 0.75. And it's positive because the +8 outweighs the -7.25. And then I'm going to divide by 0.25. And this is kind of like money, right? This is like 75 cents. How many quarters are in 75 cents? So f equals 3. Again, you could do that on your calculator. This divided by that, and you'll get 3 as your answer. Finally, number 6, two-step problem. First step, get rid of the 1 that's not attached to the variable by doing the opposite of -1, which is +1. Boom. Now I'm going to have g over 13, or g divided by 13 equals 4 + 1. How do I undo dividing by 13? Well, the opposite of dividing by 13 is multiplying by 13, so I'm going to multiply by 13. This will cancel out, and I'll just have 1g equals 5 times 13. So that's 5 times 10 is 50, plus 5 times 3 is 15, so that's 65. All right, there we go. So those were our first batch of equations, and those were the more simpler, straightforwarder equations on this practice test. There's some more complicated ones later. Excuse me, but hopefully you got those. Now we're going to switch gears and do a little translation work. We're going to translate some English into some math, and then we're going to actually finish the problem by solving what we translated. So, number 7, the difference between. The difference between means subtraction. It means we're going to do something minus something, right? Something minus something. What minus what? Well, it's the difference between 10 times a number. How do I write 10 times a number? 10x, 10n, 10 whatever letter you want to use here, okay? And it's the difference between that and 4. So 10x minus 4 is 56. What's my equation? 10x minus 4 is 56. You could put an n and j and whatever letter you want there. It doesn't matter what letter you put there. Then we have to solve it. Okay, so then we have to solve it. How do I solve that equation? Well, I'm going to do plus 4. That gets rid of that. So I've got 10x, right? Because this is gone. I've got 10x equals 60. And I'm going to divide by 10, and I'll get x equals 6. X equals 6. Or n equals 6, or whatever your variable was. Okay, number 8, 20 more than. That means I'm going to take something and I'm going to add 20 to it. What am I adding 20 to? I did the 20 more than 4 times a number. Again, 4 times a number, 4 times a number. 4n, 4x, whatever, is 36, is 36, right? That's the n part, that's the easy part, and then I just have to solve it. So when I solve this one, I'm going to get rid of the plus 20 with a minus 20. Boom, boom, boom. 4n equals 16. Divide by 4, 16 divided by 4 gives me 4. And again, on all of these, can you check your solutions by plugging it back in? Yeah, you can. And you can actually plug this back into the sentence here. 20 more than 4 times 4. What's 20 more than 4 times 4? Well, 4 times 4 is 16. What's 20 more than 16? Is 36. Check. I'm 100% confident I got that right. Yay for me. Yay for you. We're all doing great. Okay? So again, it was 1 point for this, 1 point for this, 1 point for this, 1 point for that when you're scoring this at home. All right, then we got Ishi and the painting project. So Ishi bought a canvas and 8 tubes of paint for $24.95. If the canvas was $6.95, oh, okay, so canvas plus 8 paints equals $24.95. Canvas $6.95. So $6.95 plus 8 paint tubes. You could use P, you could use T for tubes. You could use X if you just like X's. That's going to add up to $24.95. And then I've got to solve it, okay? So when I solve this one, I'll do that over here on the side so I don't mess up my answer boxes over here. So I've got $6.95 plus 8p equals $24.95. I'm going to take away $6.95 from each side. And that gives me the 8p by itself, okay? My 8p is by itself. This comes out to 18. That's helpful because now I can just be one step away from figuring out what p equals. I'm going to divide by 8, and it doesn't come out nice and perfectly evenly on this one. It comes out to 2.25. But that's okay because how much did each tube of paint cost? Well, $2.25, right? Don't put p equals 225 here. Put each tube of paint cost $2.25, right? Word problem, word answer. Okay, that is the front side of your practice test. Let's look at the back side. Let's look at the back side. All right, we're making good progress here. Number 10. On number 10, in order for this to have no solutions, these have to match each other. Okay, these have to match each other. This funky business about no solution or infinitely many solution, those things never happen unless these parts match each other, the variable parts match each other. So you have to have a 5 here. Now, remember, no solutions means your equation is lying to you, right? It means you're creating an equation that can't be solved. So basically, if 5x plus 9 equals 5x plus anything but 9, then it's going to have no solution. It's going to be unsolvable. So could I put a 3 here? Sure. Could I put an 11 here? Sure. Could I put a 94 here? Sure. Could I put a 9 there? No. That's the one thing I can't put there, right? Because if there was a 9 there, then this wouldn't be lying to me. It wouldn't be trying to trick me, right? It would be telling me the truth. 5x plus 9 does equal 5x plus 9. But remember, no solutions mean it's lying to you. So this box has to be any number but 9. Any number except 9, right? Any number except 9. Now, quick note on this, and this is important. What if this didn't say we wanted to make it have no solutions? What if it was going to have infinitely many solutions? What if we wanted to create an equation that has infinitely many solutions? In that case, you would want the 5 to match the 5, and you would want the 9 to match the 9, so you would put a 9 in here, right? If you wanted it to have infinitely many solutions, you would have a 5x plus 9 equals 5x plus 9. So be ready for no solutions, be ready for infinitely many solutions. You never know what might be on the test on Monday. All right? The rest of this test is just solving a bunch of equations, and these are the more 8th grader-ish equations, all right? These are the full-on 8th grader level equations where we need to show that we can handle a little bit more complexity. Remember, I'm not going to call these difficult. I don't think any of them are difficult. None of them are impossible, that's for sure. Okay? You can do all of these problems. It's just a matter of persevering through a series of steps. And like Anna in Frozen 2, we're just going to try to do the next right thing. So on number 11, what's the first right thing to do here? I have 19 apples minus 4 apples. These are like terms. So I have 15 apples. And if I have 15 apples minus 7 equals 8, that's easier to solve than when I had it the way it was at the beginning, okay? So the first right thing was to combine the like terms. What's the next right thing? Get rid of the minus 7 with the plus 7, because we want to get rid of that. So we're closer to getting our variable isolated. And I think from here you can see a must be 1, right? 15 times what makes 15? I think the answer is a equals 1. Wait a second. That means I lied at the beginning of this practice test video. I lied. I said a equals 3 was the answer, didn't I? Nope. Sorry. A does not equal 3. Wrong. I biffed it. A equals 1 is the correct answer to number 11. Ha! Even Mr. Marbut makes mistakes sometimes. That just goes to show we should probably plug numbers back in to see if it works. So 19 times 1 minus 7 minus 4 times 1, does that equal 8? Yep, it does. That's how I know that a equals 1, not 3. Sorry for the mistake, but it's a good lesson to make sure that we all know to plug our answers back in and check them to see if they work. Okay, number 12. What's the next right thing to do on this one? When I see parentheses, it should make me want to distribute, right? I'm going to multiply this times negative 3, and I'm going to multiply this times negative 3. What's negative 3 times 2? Negative 6, right? And so that plus turns into a minus because it's negative 6 now. Okay, so far so good. What am I going to do to get m by itself? I've got to get rid of the minus 3. I've got to get rid of the minus 6. I'm going to get rid of the one that's not attached to the variable first. And that's going to give me negative 24. Over here, I've just got negative 3m left. And my next step is divide by negative 3, right? Undo the multiplication here. Unmultiply m by negative 3, which is divide by negative 3. So negative divided by negative is a positive, and 24 divided by 3 is 8. We got that one right? All right, good job, us. Number 13, almost kind of looks like it might have no solution or infinitely many solutions or something, but if you look closely, do those match? No, because this is a positive 3n, and that is a negative 3n. So do I have the same number of n's on both sides? I don't, actually. And what do I do when there's a variable on both sides? I look for the smaller one, and I get rid of it. How do I get rid of a minus 3n? Plus 3n. Oop, m, n. You guys know what I mean. Okay, that's an n. So minus 3n and plus 3n cancels. That means I only have 9 left over here on that side of the equation. Of course, I added 3n to this side, So where am I going to add 3n? Am I going to put plus 3n here? No, I'm going to line it up with this over here. What's 3n plus 3n? 6n. And it's 21 plus 6n equals 9. From here, I'm going to just go ahead and solve the rest of the equation. Take away 21 from both sides. That gives me 6n equals, what's that, negative 12? 6n equals negative 12. And I'm going to divide by 6. Divide by 6, that's negative 2. Okay, we're doing well. We're doing well. Just a few more problems. So, number 14. I have variables on both sides. Now, what's smaller, 4 quarters or 8 quarters? 4 quarters is less than 8 quarters, but notice that's minus 8 quarters. Yeah? So it's actually going to be best for us on this problem if I undo this side, because that's going to give me a positive number of quarters. Okay? And then I'm just going to bring this down, bring this down, bring this down, right? Just bring everything down. And from here, I just got to finish it. So the next right thing is to get rid of the minus 2 with a plus 2. The next right thing is to add these two together. The next right thing is to bring this back down here. The next right thing is divide by 12. And pretty soon, if you keep on doing the next right thing and then the next right thing, oops, somehow my Q turned into a G. That should be Q equals 2. Q equals 2 on that problem. Okay, 15 and 16. It's getting to the intimidating problems, but we are going to refuse to be intimidated. I'm not going to let a scary looking problem intimidate me. I'm going to have grit and perseverance, and I'm just going to look for what's the next right thing. So, I see these parentheses, and I know what they mean. They mean multiplication. So I'm going to do 3 times 5p. So if I have 5 pizzas and I triple the amount of pizzas, 3 times 5 pizzas is 15 pizzas. And then I have to triple the minus 4 as well. I'm distributing that. So that's a minus 12. That was the first right thing. What's the next right thing? Bring down this, right? Bring down this. Bring down the 5p plus 5. None of that changed. I didn't do anything there. And then just keep going. What's the next right thing? I got p all over the place. Wait, did I just say I've got p all over the place? Oops. So what am I going to do here? I've got 15p pizzas. 15 pizzas, take away 10 pizzas. How many pizzas do I have on the right side of the equation? On the right side of the equation, I've got 5 pizzas, right? 5 pizzas minus 12 equals 5 pizzas plus 5. Uh-oh. Are you seeing what I'm seeing here? These match, but these don't match. What does that mean about this equation? It means that it's impossible. It's lying to you. You are being tricked. This is a trick question. There is no solution to number 15. Okay? And on the edge elastic test today, I believe your instructions are going to be you should write NS. You don't have to put the quotation marks, but that's what you'll type in for no solution on edge elastic when you take the test today. Okay? One more problem and we are done, and it is number 16, the final ultimate problem on this test. Okay? Again, just like we've been doing before, look for what's the next right thing. I see parentheses, and this 3 means I'm tripling this entire thing. So if I have 2 raccoons and then I triple the number of raccoons, 3 times 2 raccoons is 6 raccoons minus 1, but it's 3 times minus 1. I'm tripling the minus 1 and making it a minus 3. Then I've got a minus 7. It's still hanging out over here. And then I've got a 6r minus 10. Okay, I did the next right thing. What's the next right thing? The next right thing is like terms. Minus 3, minus 7. I can smush those together. If I have minus 3 and minus 7, don't I have minus 10? So that gives me 6r minus 10 equal, oh, look at this. Look at this. Tricky problem here. I've got 6r minus 10 minus 10. Is this problem lying to me? Is this problem lying to me? No. It's not a liar. It's telling me the truth. 6r minus 10 does equal 6r minus 10. So what does r equal? R could equal any number in the entire universe because this equation is going to be true no matter what r equals. So that means r could equal 1, r could equal 8, r could equal 17.9. R could equal anything. How many solutions does this problem have? Every single number in the universe, which means there are infinitely many solutions. Infinitely many solutions. Okay, and just like on this practice test, I wouldn't be surprised if the real test has an infinitely many solutions in there or a no solution in there. I'm not guaranteeing that, but be on the lookout. Those kind of weirdo answers might sneak in to the real test today. So be ready to write NS for no solution. Be ready to write IMS for infinitely many solutions if that's what ends up happening with that equation. All right, that was our Unit 2 practice test video. I hope that was helpful for you. Thanks for taking the time. I think it's going to help pay off by getting you a better score on the Unit 2 test. So be patient, persevere through the tedious problems. Make sure you are doing each step on paper, in writing, practicing good form, have a calculator handy, and you should be able to do great on this test. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I will see you around.